Welcome everyone, my name is Jacob. Thank you for joining me. This is Hunt Detail, and last week I shared with you some of the categories that I use to look at 9 different cellular trail cams for 2024. And the methodology here, or the method behind the madness, is if you look at a particular category and you only look at 2 or 3 options, it's hard to understand or hard to know what's good and what's bad. And sometimes you see a lot of videos from folks on YouTube that may be talking about a new camera and going through it bit by bit. And again, the only thing is that when you only look at 1 or 2, you don't have context for the whole category. And so my approach with a lot of these things is I want to look at the whole category and then determine, okay, these are the ones that rise to the top and these are the ones that sort of sink to the bottom. And so I've done that with several different product categories. Right now, we're obviously talking about cellular trail cams. And I want to let you know that on the Hunt Detail YouTube channel, the video for this has been rolled out. So if you wanted to watch the video, you can certainly go to the Hunt Detail YouTube channel, go to the video, it's the most latest release. Also, if you go to the Hunt Detail Instagram page, there's a link in the profile. You can actually just download the cheat sheet. It's a spreadsheet, and it has all of the information there as well. And you don't even have to sort of watch the video or even listen to this podcast. You can see it there. You can add your own categories there if you want. You could add another couple cameras if I missed them, and get a sense of how they compare or stack up with these others that I'm about to speak about. So the category is very large. If you think about, each company has several different several different price points, I guess. And so I focused on the most expensive price point with each of these brands because I wanted to see, okay, this is probably the best that they've got in terms of features because it's the most expensive, and let's see how they all stack up and sort of go from there. So the other thing is that on the Hunt Detail Instagram page, when you click on the link tree in that profile, there's a lot of other cheat sheets for other categories that I've broken down. So I encourage you to go there, download that and some other cheat sheets. I also have like a hunting permission, a letter that you might write to someone to get hunting permission. I've got not a cheat sheet, but sort of a gear list for your elk hunt. If you're going out west, it's not, it can certainly be for elk, but it can apply to other types of hunts out west. That's free. And speaking of elk hunting, I do have 3 more videos coming out in August on elk hunting gear, and I'm going to be sharing my 2024 elk hunt video, and it's a bit more of a vlog, but it's sort of my attempt at self-filming a hunt, and I'm kind of pleased with it in some ways, but it's nothing like what else, the good stuff that's really out there, the really good stuff. But I was pleased. It was an honest effort, and but I would encourage you to, if you want to check those things out, they'll be coming out in August on the Hunt Detail YouTube channel. So let's talk about these cellular trail cams, and I'm going to go again from worst to first and sort of give the pros and the cons. I'm not going to give individual scores. You can find that on the cheat sheet, but we're going to start with number 9, and this is the Spartan Go Live 2, and this comes in at a price of $450. And now I know all of these companies run sales, but the pricing that I base the ranking on is the MSRP, the suggested retail price. So the price is $450. It's I guess I'll start with the cons on this since it came in last. There's no lockable closure. There's no foldable antenna. It has a 1/2 second trigger speed, which is kind of slow within this category. I think it's the slowest. It does not have no glow, so it lacks that. It said something, it looks like it's an 8 megapixel camera pic, but I could be wrong on that. Some of the terminology, I guess, or vernacular used it within with cameras and video can be a little bit confusing, but I don't know. It might not be 8 megapixel, but if it is, that's really low. It's not very good quality. The app is more of a management style app, and I talked a little bit about this last week, that I think apps now can evolve to be a lot more robust than just sort of changing the photo burst or changing from photo to video, that sort of thing. The pros is that it does have an easy aim mount. It does have a GPS, and it does. I saw some feedback from some folks on this camera online, and they really like it. So if you have a Spartan Go Live, it's not just because it comes in last in my review or ranking. It doesn't mean it's a bad camera. It's just not something that I would invest in. Or even really entertain at this point. So coming in at number 8 is the Covert WC32V. And so I'll start with the pros here. Some of the pros is for $5 you get 100 photos. I thought that was pretty decent. It does have a integration with OnX. So if you're not aware, Covert, Bushnell, and Exodus, those cameras, you can have your pictures sent through that app. And if you click on the particular camera, you can see your pictures there. So you have to set it up, but I think it's a nice feature, and I think I can see a dynamic here where data really starts to sort of be captured and collected and become more usable when you're using OnX and, say, a cellular trail cam and the data that it collects. But it has an LCD screen. It does have no glow. The Covert does have no glow, and it has a 0.2 second trigger speed. So, if that's accurate, then that's really strong. Some of the cons is that the Covert app, and I looked at this a lot with how engaged are these brands with customers, and I use YouTube a lot personally for information. And if you don't have information on your cameras or your app that goes with the camera, that tells me that you're just not really that engaged in the process. Especially, maybe there's a really nice booklet that comes with the camera or something. But anyways, the app, the video that was on YouTube on the Covert app was 7 years old. And I hardly could believe it. And so for that shows me that's a con. It suggests that the app is probably a little bit outdated as well. The photo range is 80 feet. There's no folding antenna. There's no lockable closure, and the price point was $189, and I thought that was a little high for this particular camera. So coming in at number 7 is the Bushnell Cellular. And some of the pros is that it's no glow. Now, here you see the range is 100 feet on the Bushnell Cellular. So that's really strong. It has the OnX integration that I mentioned. It looks like the app is very robust, and that means, filtering, tagging, getting data to understand trends. And that is, so that was a pro there. It does have a GPS enclosed in it. It's lockable. It has a lockable closure, so you got some security features there. The cons is that it's $300 a month. The minimum plan is, I think, $20 a month, which there's plans out there that are $5 a month or $1 a month or whatever, and so the minimum being $20, I was really disappointed. It says it has a 2-year limited warranty, and I really don't like the word limited when it comes to warranties, because really we all know what that means. It means limited support, I think, and lots of exceptions. And so it feels like an empty warranty to me. No folding antenna. I like the fact that some of these cameras are coming out with folding antennas, because I have a couple antennas that are broken, quite honestly, because they don't fold. So that came in at number 7. That was the Bushnell Cellular. Coming in at number 6 is the Exodus Rival. So Let's talk about some of the pros with the Exodus rival cellular cam. So it's a low glow. It's not no glow, but it's a low glow. It's a 0.3 second trigger speed. I think I have that right, which was really solid. It has a 5-year warranty. If you are familiar with Exodus trail cameras, they have this great warranty, and I think when it comes to cell cams, you really want to have a high level of trust with the company that you're working with. You want to feel like if you have an issue, you can get it resolved, because it's not just buying a camera in a box. You're actually, a cellular cam, it seems like it might be more fragile and it has more things going on there. And so to have, again, a trail camera from now to 2029 with the same company and know that I'm supported is really important. Now they're transitioning to a new Exodus app, and I gave them the benefit of the doubt in terms of my rating. I hope that this is a robust app, that it's something that can allow you to filter and use data from your cameras to get trends, that sort of thing. I believe it's a 32 megapixel image. I don't quite know the video on that camera. It also does have OnX integration there. Some of the cons is that it has a 70-foot range. It does not have a folding antenna. It looks like it's $7 per line. So you could have a really inexpensive line, but you still have to pay an additional $7. Wasn't really crazy about that. If I understand that properly. And I thought the $179 price point was a little high, quite honestly, for this particular camera. I know they offer discounts and sales and that sort of thing at different times of the year, but again, I'm looking at the retail price, and I feel like this would be more of a $139 camera based on the way it fits within the marketplace. But again, you're getting a warranty and you're getting an organization or company that it really engages their customers, and so you can be confident if you spend money on that they're going to be there to support you if you have issues. But the other, coming in at number 5, is the StealthCam Revolver 360, and this is a coming soon camera. I don't know when it actually hits the market, but it should be soon, I would imagine. This is a new camera that is unique in the sense that it has sensors all around it. I think it's like 6 sensors, but it has a camera that rotates apparently silently in the middle. So you could ostensibly put this in the middle of a field, and whether it's turkey or deer or whatever, middle of a food plot, it's going to pick up movement and it's going to take a picture. And that's something unique to this entire category that you won't necessarily get. Obviously, you're not going to do that on public land. You're going to have a piece of private land where you feel confident that it's not going to get picked up. Some of the pros: it has a 100-foot range. It says it advertises a 40 megapixel pic and 1440 video. For $5, you get 600 pictures. It has a GPS. It has a lockable closure, and it's priced at $179.99. So I thought that was a really solid price point for something that's new, assuming that it works properly. Some of the cons is that it does not have no glow. The 0.4 second trigger speed is on the slower end of this category. It does not have a folding antenna. It does not. It's integrated with HuntStand, and I'm just not a fan of that app. So it's sort of worthless, quite honestly. That app, if you've ever seen my reviews of that app on the Hunt Detail YouTube channel, I initially thought it was a great app, and then in my first review, and shame on me, after looking at it again, I realized that it had a lot of limitations. So coming in at number 4, the Muddy Matrix. Now, StealthCam and Moultrie are owned by the same organization, so you're going to see some of the same things in terms of, like the data plan. As I put on as a pro, for $5, you get 600 photos. It's a 36 megapixel with 1080p video. It's $119, which is a strong pro. Both the StealthCam and the Moultrie Matrix use the Command Pro app. I failed to mention that, and that app looks really strong, really robust. It has a lockable closure, and so those are really the pros there with the Moultrie Matrix. Some of the cons: it does not have a folding antenna. It has a 0.4 second trigger speed. It lacks the no glow. The range is 80 foot, which is, on the higher end, you're seeing these 100-foot ranges. Lower end, like with the Exodus, it's 70 foot. This is sort of, on that lower end of 80 foot. There's no stated warranty with, I think, either of those cameras. And then again, it also, like the StealthCam, has the hunt stand integration, it doesn't really do anything for me. So now we're coming to the top three. And coming in at number 3 is the SpyPoint Flex Plus. And so some of the pros were that it was $129, 36 megapixel, 1080p video. It does have a 2-year warranty. I thought it had a solid app. Lockable closure. It does have an LCD. It has a 0.3 second trigger speed, and it has a 100-foot range. I mean, that's a really strong camera right there. I mean, when you look at that price point, the range, the trigger speed, the LCD, the 2-year warranty, that's a really strong option. I've never used SpyPoint, but there's a lot there. From a con standpoint, it does not have a foldable antenna, and it does not have no glow. So it's sort of that full LED experience where you may have deer sort of noticing they're getting their picture taken. So that comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is the brand new Tactacam Reveal Pro 3 that came out just about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago. It comes in at about $155. Now, it advertises 4K photos, which, again, I think 4K often relates to video content. So I don't know how it comes up with 4K photos and then 1080p video. But I'm assuming 4K photos are really crisp photos. The app is a solid app. It allows you to do a lot of the things that I've mentioned. It has a GPS. It has a lockable closure. It does have the foldable antenna. So there's a lot of pros. I've personally used the Reveal products. I think when they first came out, I picked up a couple, and then the second one, I have a couple of those. I have about 7 of them, and I've been really pleased with them. I mean, the pics, the megapixel on the pics could be better. I think they were either 12 or 16 megapixel with some of those, and so I'm assuming that this is, with 4K photos, this is an upgrade. Now, some of the cons, it says it has a sub-half second trigger speed, which I don't know what that means. It could be 0.2 or it could be 0.45. I don't know. So I put that as a con. It has an 80-foot range, which again, some of these that I've discussed have a 100-foot range. And then it has a 1-year warranty. So it's, that's on the low end. I've had to go through a warranty replacement for one of my cams, and it took a little bit, but I eventually got a replacement that worked, and so they did a good job there. And I will say this is a company a lot like Exodus that I think has connects with their customers. They have a lot of information available not only on their website but also on social media like YouTube, and so they do a lot of, I think, proactive connection and education. And I think if I bought one of these newer ones, that if I had issues, I'd feel pretty confident I'd get some support. So coming in at number 1 is the new, coming soon, Moultrie Mobile Edge 2 Pro. And so this one, in pretty much every category, uh, beats just has all of the bonuses, all the stuff that you're sort of looking for, all the things that I've mentioned. So, and I'll go through those pros. So it's 40 megapixel photos, 1440 video. Now, this camera's not out yet. So, those specs could change, and of course, any of these specs could be inaccurate or misleading. But it's $139.99. For $10, the minimum plan, you get 1,000 pics. It has a 2-year warranty. It has a lockable closure. It has GPS. It's no glow. It has a 0.3 second trigger speed. It's a 100-foot range. It has a folding antenna. It has an easy aim mount on the back of the camera. It's about time that some of these cameras come with that. Now, I mentioned the Spartan cam that came in last has an easy aim mount. This one does as well, and I think that's sort of a no-brainer. I mean, we're always putting cameras at different angles. Yeah, for one reason or another. Why not include some sort of mount? It auto connects with 4 different carriers, and I really haven't talked a lot about this, but all of these auto connect with one SIM card to, I guess, the strongest cell signal, regardless of the provider, whether it's Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile or US Cellular. But some of them only really work with 2 providers, and some of them just say all providers, but you don't really know how many. This one specifies that it's 4 different providers. So that could be AT&T, T-Mobile, US Cellular, Verizon. But ultimately, that's a real plus. What I will say that I see with Moultrie that they're doing, and I think this is really the future, and I think it seems like they're going to drive this, is the app that they have is really going to start creating local data for you. And it's going to, let's say you had a fleet of 10 of these, and I get the sense that I include this on the video, and I'm going to talk more about these things next week. But the app is genuinely collecting data, and it's not like sort of like Deercast. With Deercast, you can, on a national level, you can see what predictors there are based on weather or whatever. Like, there's a 15 degree temp drop, and the barometric pressure has changed this much, and that sort of thing. And so I think this is going to really take this to a more micro level. So some of the cons here, there's really only one, is that it's my previous experience with the Moultrie Mobile product line. I purchased one of these cameras, one of the Moultrie Mobile cameras, back in 2018, I think. And to get a cell signal was impossible. I mean, it really was impossible. It was always yellow, barely green, unless I, stood, on top of my couch or something. But and I live near major highway systems, so it really shouldn't have been an issue. But it was very frustrating, and I was just really disappointed in that experience. And so I think with all of these, do yourself a favor and go on the message boards and just search for the Tactacam Reveal Pro 3, for example. Folks will have had experience by now messing with it, or within the next few months messing with it, getting those cameras out. And they'll be able to tell you, oh, it's awesome, or, I had these issues. Or even as you look at some of the other ones like the SpyPoint Flex Plus or the StealthCam Revolver 360, when that hits the market, and this Moultrie Mobile Edge 2 Pro, it advertises a lot of things that look great. And, at a $139 price point, that's a really strong price point. So, I may purchase one and just to try it, but it's hard to make a full-blown commitment until you know for a fact that these things are reliable, because you don't want to get a fleet and then realize that you made a big mistake. So those are the rankings. Take a look at the spreadsheet, and feel free to reach out and let me know what you think, and let me know if you have experience with one of these cameras and if it stinks, or if you really love it, or you think I'm wrong. I mean, I'm not. None of this stuff is I take personal. I'm just trying to look at it from an objective stance. But yeah, let me know if you have some feedback, some other cameras that you think I should have looked at, and really appreciate your all's help, time, and support. And we'll talk again next week.